Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Rohit and I represent careersprints.com, and we like to make videos that help you with your professional development and continuous learning. Now in this video, I want to talk about the differences between the PMP and the CAPM certification. I meet so many people who don't understand the basic differences between these two, so I thought I might just clarify it in this video. But before we dive in, I wanted you to know that we conduct free PMP virtual classes a couple of times every month, where we cover all the tips, the tricks, and the strategies for passing the PMP exam. So if you haven't signed up yet, do so. The link is in the description below. So let's get started. Now, before we get into the specifics of the CAPM and the PMP certification, you should know that both these certifications are offered by a body called the Project Management Institute. Now, the Project Management Institute is a very old and globally popular project management body that is responsible for certifying PMPs for several years. In addition to PMPs, it also certifies people in other certifications, which we'll not be getting in this video, but you should know that at least for the CAPM and for the PMP, it's the Project Management Institute. You can also visit the Project Management Institute's website at pmi.org. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about what topics we are going to cover in this video. One of the first things that we will cover is that we are going to talk about the differences between the eligibility requirements for the PMP and for the CAPM. Then we will move on to the exam fees. Then we will move on to the exam specifics. So here we would talk about the exam length, the type of questions. Then we would move on to the exam syllabus, where we are basically going to talk about what is going to be the content of the exam. And then we're going to talk about, do you really need to take these exams again after a couple of years, or is there a way to just keep your certification going without taking the exam, which is basically the recertification process. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the eligibility requirements for the PMP versus the CAPM. So let's start with the PMP, because the PMP is a more popular certification in comparison to the CAPM. One of the reasons why PMP is more popular is because it has a higher standing in the industry. There are more and more companies that want to hire PMPs or want people to have a PMP certification when they're applying for a job in comparison to a CAPM. But having said that, even the CAPM certification holds a lot of value. But let's see what the differences are in their eligibility. So the PMP certification, there are two options. So, the first option is that if you've just completed your high school or your secondary degree and, you started working right after that, you need 60 months of project management experience to even apply for the PMP. So as you can see under option 1, it says 60 months leading projects. Although they say leading projects, I would just say it's not really leading projects by having the title of a project manager. All you need to do is that you need to be a part of a project team. We all do projects at some stage in our life in the different companies that we work for. So as long as you have been a part of a project team, and you have around 5 years or 6 years of work experience, you should give it a shot and try to apply to the PMP exam. In addition to the work experience requirements, you also need to have some project management education. Basically, project management education is like sitting for a project management class. So either you sit for an online e-learning class, or you can sit for a virtual program, which is led by an instructor, or you can even do an in-class program. So you either have the 35 hours of project management education by sitting in a class, or previously, if you've done your CAPM certification, you can just directly go and apply for the PMP if you also have the experience to go along with that. Now, option 2 is that if you've got, let's say, an engineering degree, or you did any 4-year degree, after your high school, then you just need around 36 months of experience working in projects. So if you have, let's say, 3 to 4 years of work experience, and you kind of know that you worked in projects in these 3 to 4 years, you worked in companies where the job that you did can be shown as project related work, you can still go ahead and apply for your PMP as well. Again, similar to option 1, even here you need those 35 hours of project management training, or if you have the or you have the CAPM certification, you can go and apply for the PMP. So the bottom line for the PMP certification is that you need to have some work experience behind you to back yourself up, to be able to even apply for the PMP certification. Next, when we talk about the CAPM certification does not mandate any work experience at all. So it is good for people who are just passing out of school, or the people who've just finished their graduation, like fresh graduates who want to have some project management knowledge, want to demonstrate their competency by having an additional skill set on their resume. So the bottom line for the CAPM is that you just need a secondary degree. So like it says, you either need a high school diploma, associate degree, or a global equivalent, and you just need to acquire the 23 hours of project management education, which is basically, again, the project management training that you need, either through an e-learning course or through a classroom program. You just need to acquire that project management education from somewhere. So if you have this, you can go ahead and apply for the CAPM as well. So this is great for anyone who's just a student and want to apply for the CAPM. Next, let's talk about the differences between the exam fees for the PMP and the CAPM. So obviously, as you can see here on the screen, the cost for the PMP exam is higher than the CAPM exam. So, but in a nutshell, you would notice that there are two types of exam fee that are shown here, both for the PMP and for the CAPM. So for the PMP, there is a member fee and there is a non-member fee. And for the CAPM, there is a member and a non-member fee. So basically, where they say the member and the non-member fee, what they mean is that, you can become a member of PMI, right? And in a separate video, I'm going to talk specifically about the benefits of becoming a PMI member. But in a nutshell, if you become a PMI member, you would get the digital copies of the PMBOK and the Agile Practice Guide, and you would get a couple of other publications that PMI has. In addition to that, PMI has also recently launched another digital product called the PMI Standards Plus, which is a platform where you can find templates to project management resources, or project management documents, and more articles and videos and virtual events, for the purpose of networking. So all in all, you would normally benefit from getting a PMI membership. So coming back to the exam fees, you would see that the exam fees for the PMP for members is $405. And, if you just get the membership, which I believe is another $130, basically the cost of the exam fee and the cost of the membership, that kind of adds up to the cost of the non-member fee in both cases, which is the PMP as well as the CAPM, or maybe it's slightly higher. You can do the math, but you will realize that, having the membership, at least in the first year in which you're either going to do your PMP or your CAPM, is going to be beneficial for you. I would just suggest, get the membership from PMI. In fact, if you're a student, you actually also get a discount on the membership fees. So anyone who's a student, would also get an additional discount. But just pay for your membership and pay for the exam, and you can go ahead and do the PMP or the CAPM exam as well. Now let's get into exam specifics. So, in the PMP exam, in 2021, there was a format change that happened. And basically what happened was that now the PMP exam has 180 questions. Earlier, the PMP exam had 200 questions totally. Now it has 180 questions. And these 180 questions are, primarily they are multiple choice questions, matching questions, hotspot questions, drag and drop questions. I'll be talking about that as well in another video, but you will have 180 questions and you will have 230 minutes, which is just 10 minutes shy of 4 hours to complete the PMP exam. So that's about the PMP exam. When it comes to the CAPM, it's definitely an easier exam in comparison to the PMP. So you will have 150 questions and you will have 3 hours to complete the CAPM exam. Now both these exams, you would need to do it at a virtual at a test center, or you can even do it at home. Considering the pandemic, there are a lot of people who are doing the exam at home as well. So PMI has set up a process where they can proctor you or invigilate you when you're doing the exam at home. Now, when we talk about the syllabus for the PMP versus the CAPM, you would basically notice that in the PMP, you have 3 domains. So you have the domain of people, you have the domain of process, and you have the domain of business environment. Now, the entire 100% of the exam is split across these 3 domains of people, process, and business environment. So if you just go to Google and you type PMP exam content outline, you will or PMP exam content outline 2021, you will basically land on a PDF document. You can download that and you can see what exactly is the exam content for the PMP. But what you need to understand is that the PMP exam content is obviously much more expansive, or it covers more project management material as compared to the CAPM. So, in addition to the PMBOK, you may also have to refer to other books for the PMP exam, right? Whereas for the CAPM, if you just go through chapters 1 through 13 from the PMBOK 6th edition, and if you just have a good understanding of the knowledge areas and the initial chapters from the PMBOK 6, you would be good to go for the CAPM exam as well. Obviously, in both these exams, whether it's the PMP or in the CAPM, you definitely need to solve a lot of test papers to check your scores and see how you're performing, and so that you can also build a certain level of confidence. But definitely, the exam content for the CAPM is a lot simpler in comparison to the PMP, and even the type of questioning is going to be simpler in comparison to the PMP, which is more of a situational exam. Also because you have work experience when you're applying for the PMP, so they expect you to apply some of the knowledge that you acquired and the experience that you acquired while taking the exam as well. Now let's talk about the recertification process. So far, we spoke about the exam syllabus. We spoke about everything that you do before the exam. Now we are going to talk about what you need to do after you have completed the exam and you've acquired your certification. Basically, that process is called the process of recertification. Now, in the recertification process, what you need to essentially do is that you need to accumulate something known as professional development units to be able to maintain your certification. Now, professional development units are in a way like credits that you accumulate, because of some of the work that you may do in the project management community. So you may probably give back to the project management community by teaching classes, or by speaking at conferences, or by participating in other kinds of events. And at the same time, you can also accumulate these professional development units by, maybe going through some related classes in project management, or maybe let's say a specific area of project management. So you can take some online classes, or you can attend some virtual events, and you will basically be able to accumulate those PDUs as well. So there are many paid and free ways to accumulate PDUs. You may not be able to accumulate all 60 PDUs for the PMP, for free, or some of you may be able to do it. But there are definitely so many different ways to accumulate these PDUs, and once you acquire these PDUs within the limited time span that you have. So for the PMP, for example, you have to accumulate these PDUs within a 3-year time span, and once you accumulate those PDUs, your certification will be maintained. And the same applies to CAPM. You just have to accumulate 15 PDUs to keep your certification active by giving back to the community, or by attending events, or doing some online classes. So this brings us to the end of the basic differences between the PMP and the CAPM. So anyone who's a student is very well positioned to actually propel their career by getting the CAPM certification. And I genuinely feel that, whether you're an engineering student or you're a student from, maybe a business background, or any background, because project management is a very, very generic discipline. From whatever background you are in, if you know that you're going to go get into the workforce, or you're looking for a job, and you want to up your skills, up your knowledge, up your dictionary of business language, the CAPM certification is a very, very good certification to have for students, right? Of students who are just passing out. Whereas the PMP is for anyone who wants to really take their career to the next level. So you may be currently in a technical role, or you may be looking at moving into management, and you may notice that when you're applying for jobs, or even when you're trying to apply internally, they want you to acquire the PMP certification, to really demonstrate your your understanding of project management more expansively, right? So that's about the differences between the PMP and the CAPM. Now, I just wanted to talk a little additionally about the CAPM certification. And, if you go to the PMI website, you would notice that PMI has something known as the PMI Student Bundle. Now, anyone who's applying for the CAPM certification can actually get this student bundle, where PMI bundles the student membership and the CAPM certification exam fee together. And because they are doing this bundling, you can get it at a $75 discount. So if you see, it says the PMI student bundle is available to full-time matriculated students in an accredited degree granting program only. Because PMI members receive discounts on certification exams, purchasing the bundle will save you $75 off the CAPM exam. So yeah, basically you're going to save money off the CAPM exam. So anyone who's looking to apply for the CAPM exam, consider getting the student bundle, right? In fact, if you're still studying, you will also get a discount on the membership too. Right. So this is just the web page for the CAPM certification. I'm going to basically put links of all these different web pages for the CAPM certification, for the PMP certification, as well as for the student bundle. So you can go that and check it out. Okay. All right. So, thank you so much for watching the video. I again wanted to just emphasize that we do free virtual classes. We do virtual classes basically both for PMP and for CAPM students. We primarily focus on the PMP, but this is also very, very relevant for anyone doing or looking to pursue the CAPM. Come and attend the class. It's 2 hours of, a lot of knowledge that you will acquire in this class. You will have your questions clarified if you have any questions. This is free. So, just look at the link in the description below and register for the class. Additionally, I also wanted to talk about that, we've created a course on Udemy. Actually, this course has been created by me. This course is for anyone who's currently in the midst of preparing for the PMP exam, right? And, maybe kind of struggling with the Agile portions of the PMP exam. So what I've done is that I've created a course on the Agile Practice Guide, which is one of the books that you use in addition to the PMBOK for the PMP exam. So, this course has a razor sharp focus on the Agile Practice Guide. It covers all the content that you need to know from that particular guide, or generally from Agile as well, because I also talk a little bit about stuff other than what's there in the Agile Practice Guide. So anyone who's looking at upping their game with the Agile portions of the exam, go and sign up for this course. It's on Udemy. You can just enter that name and you will find the course on Udemy as well. So in addition to that, I also wanted to make another important announcement. So we are actually doing a class for any PMP exam candidate, right? So this is for exam candidates who really, want to understand the PMP exam psychology. In fact, 9 out of 10 students who have developed a PMP exam mindset or understand the PMP exam psychology, have been able to pass the PMP exam successfully with 3 above targets, right? So in this class, we are going to help you develop that right mindset to crack the PMP exam in your first attempt. This class is going to have a lot of other students, and you're not only going to learn from the instructor, but you're also going to learn from your peers, you're going to have people from different backgrounds and different levels of work experience. So this is going to be a collaborative, fun class where, we are going to give you download on the predictive as well as the agile mindset that you need to have for the PMP exam, and you're going to learn, from in a fun and a collaborative way as well. One of the main advantages of this PMP exam psychology class is that you will be able to really accelerate your learning, right? So if you're going through the books or some courses and you want to really speed up your learning process and want to know exactly what you're going to get tested in the exam on, this is the course for you. So we are currently working on the web page, but I've put another link in the description. If you're interested, you can go and just register your name and your details, and someone will get in touch with you, with more details about this class. This is going to be a 10 to 12 hour class, packed with a lot of action and information that you need for your PMP exam. So thanks a lot for watching the video. If you like the video, please hit the like button. And in addition to that, please subscribe to the channel. It'll really help us to grow this channel, and it will encourage us to make more videos for your benefit as a PMP or a CAPM exam candidate. All the best to you.